drift in and out. I want to waste some time. I want you here driving down. I want to drift in and out. I want to waste some time. I want you here driving down. I want to drift in and out. I want to waste some time. I want you here driving down. I want to drift in and out. I want 'cause it's toss and waste all the time. I want you
Meila, welcome to the new season of Munday Sounds.
Thank you for having me.
We've just heard the new song Sierra. Could you tell us everything about that track?
Of course. So Sierra is an introspective song. So Sierra is a state of mind. It's about chasing that feeling of peace and comfort and contentment. So I kind of want it to be like just a chill driving down to the coast kind of song, which I think with the repetitive guitars and the drums, and then you have the guitar fills as well, which are quite dreamy, sort of country-esque type of vibe to the guitars. Yeah, and I just like with the lyrics as well in the bridge, it's about driving and drifting in and out and wasting time, and that feeling that I was chasing with just being like allowing yourself to waste time.
You can definitely hear that. I think it's definitely got the kind of road trip kind of vibe down
Yeah.
the coast. And that's something that you mentioned there actually that I've noticed in quite a few of your songs, especially like lyrically, is the element of storytelling. And there's a recurring, or like not recurring theme, it kind of tells a story from start to finish. I heard it in kind of like all in 20-something
Yeah.
fake ideas as well.
Yeah.
Is that a key component of your songwriting?
Definitely, yeah. And I think with my EP, my debut EP, which is I released 2 songs at the end of last year, and then I've got 3 being released over the next few months. I wanted the feeling to be like telling a story with growing up, figuring it out, being in your 20s, and sort of just like following that journey. But I think all of my songs sort of follow that same sort of storytelling concept, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a niche in itself, in like a cinema niche, is that you could see this being on a soundtrack of a coming of age story or film.
Yeah, yeah.
Or something you could like make your own film to the lyrics of this story. So I really noticed that, and I just, as I was listening, like subconsciously,
Yeah.
you have this vision in your head of, oh, this is a story, and it starts here and it ends here. So it's really like a nice element to your songwriting.
Yeah, especially with 20-something, which was my first song of the EP. That one's very like about growing up and coming of age. And I think it's just all about not taking things too seriously and allowing yourself to make mistakes and sort of let go of control. So that was the thought with that one as well.
I think on the topic of coming of age, do you have like a story from your first concert? Maybe not as a solo artist, but as like the first time you performed in a band? Is there anything that pops to mind? I may have had some inside knowledge of the first time you performed.
Okay.
Maybe a few beverages. Say something down the mic.
Right, yeah. This from my sister?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I do remember that. It was actually Patty's best friend who had a band. And I got up on stage with them after a few too many drinks. And said some things as I got up on stage, yes. I won't go into it now.
I think everyone's got a story like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads on to when we performed in January. Was that your first gig in Hong Kong?
Yes, it was. Yeah, and I hope to do a lot more as well. It was super fun. That was one of my first gigs with a band as well, doing originals. So that was really fun. And then I'll be back here in like September, and I hope to do a couple more there as well.
What was the transition like going from kind of solo
hmm
to performing as a band?
Good question. So much more fun. Like I've always wanted to play with a band, and just all be like, and my sister was doing the backing vocals as well, which was really fun. We just all had such a good time, and we did like a few rehearsals beforehand as well. And so everyone was like really across all the songs, and it was just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think like completely agree. It was just a really fun experience. It was like
Yeah,
it's been a while since it myself had played in a band, so it was
yeah,
just kind of you have that energy, you have that camaraderie, and it
yeah.
was nice just kind of rekindle it for like a really great week.
Yeah,
Basically,
exactly.
it was
It's
awesome.
very different to performing solo because I've done a few more acoustic, slow and intimate kind of gigs. Just a lot more everyone just watching you and listening to the lyrics and a lot more intense, I would say. Which is great. It's like a completely different vibe. But when you have people on stage with you, like it just feels like it feels more fun to me, really.
Definitely. I think
Mm.
if we take a deep dive into the songwriting, I've kind of wrote
Mm.
like 3 words that I'm interested to kind of find out about in terms of like motivation,
hmm
ideation, like how do you create and where does it start, and kind of like the process from start to finish as
Okay.
well.
Yeah, sure. I grew up playing classical music, so a lot of piano, violin, flute, music theory, all of that. So I feel quite natural playing at the piano and writing on the piano. So I'll usually come up with some sort of chord progression and a melody over top just at the piano, and then I'll put that into Ableton. Do you use Ableton? Do you?
I don't. I use a really old software called Reason.
Oh, right. I saw that before actually, yeah. But yes, I'll put it into Ableton and I'll find a drum loop that sort of fits the vibe of the song that I'm after. Um, and I've really loved getting into producing. The song that you heard before, I wrote and produced that one. So um, I normally, when I have it in Ableton and I've got the drum loop, I'll just start adding things to it. I'll just get piano, find some cool sounds with synths and pads and put them in there, and then like that's when playing classical music helps because I can play some of the instruments. So I'll put violin. I think there's some flute in the EP, and then some guitar and bass very poorly, and then I just stack lots of vocal harmonies. I think my sound is a lot of vocals and a lot of vocal harmonies, and then from there I think the song kind of finds its own path and direction, and it helps as well when it's part of an EP because you're telling that story. Um, and yeah, I mean, it changes with each song really. Like if I'm struggling at the piano, I'll get the guitar and play with that. Or if I'm struggling with that as well, I'll find a sample or a loop, even a drum loop that I can sing on top of and sort of get inspiration from that.
Yeah, I can see it in terms of like quite vocally driven. That
Mm,
kind of drives where the song might go
yeah.
in terms of like the melody line and the
Mm,
build up and the breakdowns.
mhm.
Um, what I kind of want to know is it's hard now to write songs. I think it's got harder
Yeah.
in terms of when I was bored, I used to make music,
Yeah.
but now I have my phone.
Yeah.
It's distracting me. Do you have like a process in terms of do you schedule time to sit down?
Mm,
And do you find like inspiration when you schedule that time?
mhm.
Or is it kind of off the cuff when the mood strikes?
A bit of both, I would say. I like have been working full time for a while, so it has been a bit of a struggle finding time and energy once I get home from work to go, okay, I need to be creative now. So that I've been struggling with a bit, but I'm making music my focus moving forward. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I'll just be like walking down the street and I'll come up with an idea and then I'll be voice memoing ideas all the time, and then you can put that straight into Ableton. So that's something I do sometimes. Or if I'm like on a trip away, sometimes I find that helps. If I go on a trip and I just get inspiration from what's around me, and if I'm in a good surrounding and a good mental space, then that's when I find I normally write the best.
Yeah, I think when you go on a trip, I think especially the journey back
Yeah.
is where you have these flood of ideas
Yeah.
about cool projects to do, maybe songs to produce, or new ideas.
Definitely.
Yeah, because I just think it's getting harder now to be creative in a way.
It is.
It
Yeah.
gets easier in terms of like the technology and what we've got to create,
Yeah.
but it's getting harder just to
Do you mean with like lots of distractions?
and just spend the time or just like cognitively to have that spare load to be creative, and it's something that I'm kind of trying to get back
Yeah.
and take back.
Yeah.
And you talked about kind of the next steps going like full time for the next foreseeable future anyway.
Yeah.
What is that going to look like?
Well, we're spending the rest of the year in London. So I've met some great people over there, writers and producers. So I'll be working on some new stuff with them while the rest of my EP comes out. And then doing some gigs over there and seeing how it goes for the rest of the year, and then back to Melbourne and take it from there.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll do like a quick little section now. It's like a new section called, it's a bit of a rip-off from Desert Island Discs, what they used to do on BBC Six Music, and we'll just call it Dystopian Discs.
Okay.
So it's kind of the end of the world, and you've got, it might be a bit of a curveball, 2 tracks and an album, which you've kind of got left on vinyl and available to play. What would be the first track you'd take with you?
Oh. Okay. I've got a few. I haven't thought of an album yet, but I've got a few tracks. So I'd say Sedona by Houndmouth.
Houndmouth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great song. That's been one on the rotation for a while. And then I would say Add Up Your Love, Clairo.
Okay, yeah.
And then I would say Something Heavy, Sam Fender. And yeah, those are the ones I sort of like have been having on rotation lately, so I couldn't live without them at the moment. Oh, and also Joseph. Have you heard Joseph before?
Yeah, you put me on to
Yeah. So he's released one called Cynical, which is amazing. So good. Yeah.
Perfect. I'll definitely check them out.
How about you?
About me, I think the album that I'll always take with me, Elliott Smith XO. I think just like a perfect companion
Good
to
choice, yeah.
probably especially the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like very somber.
Yeah. Fits the vibe.
Something more upbeat, something like Teardrops, the song that we nearly covered for your gig, I think.
Yeah.
That would be a good morning song.
That's a good one.
Yeah. To get upbeat.
Yeah.
And maybe another track, I think something like very, like This Is the Place by Talking Heads.
A good one.
Just for the vibe of many different situations.
Yes. You need something for everything, don't you?
So those would be my dystopian tracks. And that's kind of it. Do you want to give any thoughts on kind of the new EP? How is that shaping up in terms of Sierra? Is that kind of like the title track to lead it with?
So the first release, which was 20 something, that sort of shapes the whole EP, I would say. So that one's about growing up, making mistakes and figuring it out, coming out the other end. And that's sort of what the whole EP is about, not taking things too seriously. So yeah, that sort of shaped it, and Go On is just more of a chill one. And then I've got 3 coming out over the next few months. Sierra's the next one. So yeah, stay posted for them. It's exciting.
Perfect. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to the new tracks.
Great. Thank you.